Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, for today's video, I want to share something to you about Chapter 1 activities in Cisco Networking Academy. I will answer some of it, and at the same time, I will explain the concept of it. So, if you want to know my thoughts about it, please keep on watching. So guys, this is the first activity in Chapter 1, Cisco Networking Academy. And the title of this activity is Networking Components and Representations. So I will drop the network component function to its device category. First is for end devices. So, based on my knowledge, end devices provides an interface between the human and the network. And for me, it is a source or destination device in a network system. For example, a user's PC is an end device and so is a server. Network switches, routers, and other equipment work in between to enable messages to travel from one end device to the other. And for me, these are the network devices that people are most familiar with. These devices form the interface between the human network and the underlying communication network. In order to distinguish one end device from another, each end device on a network is identified by an address. When an end device initiates communication, it uses the address of the destination end device to specify where the message should be sent. And the best example of the end devices is the client and the server. So the server is an end device that has software installed that enables it to provide information like email or web pages to other end devices on the network. For example, a server requires web server software to provide web services in the network. And next is for the client. A client is an end device that has software installed to enable it to request and display the information obtained from a server. An example of client software is a web browser like Internet Explorer. And then next is the intermediary devices. So according to the Cisco Networking Academy, intermediary devices provides connectivity and ensures data flows across the network. And for me, intermediary devices interconnect end devices. So it is somewhat related to end devices. These devices provide connectivity and work behind the scenes to ensure that data flows across the network. It connects the individual hosts to the network and can connect multiple individual networks to form an internetwork. Examples of intermediary network devices are switches and wireless access points, or the network access, routers or internet working, and the last one is the firewalls or security. The management of data as it flows through the network is also a role of the intermediary device. These devices use the destination host address in conjunction with information about the network interconnections to determine the path that messages should take through the network. And the last one is the network media. It provides a channel for messages to travel from source to destination. So, communication across a network is carried over a medium, such as through the cable or through the air. The medium facilitates communication from source to destination. So, different types of network media have different features and benefits. Not all network media have the same characteristics, nor are they appropriate for the same purposes. The criteria for choosing a network media are the distance the media can successfully carry a signal. So the distance is very much important to easily carry a signal, because if it is too far away, it may be difficult to send the signal from the source to the destination. And next is the environment in which the media is to be installed. So you must also consider the environment in which you will be installing the media, because it can affect the performance of the media or the signal. It may lose the signal, or maybe the signal is too weak if you don't consider the environment. Next is the amount of data and the speed at which it must be transmitted, the cost of the media and installation. So you must also consider the cost, because if it's too much expensive, but the performance is weak, it is not recommendable. And let's check my answer first if it is correct. Okay, it's correct. And next is, I will drag the network representations to its device category. And first is for the end devices. So here are the network representations of it. And the next is for the intermediary devices. First, and the last one is for the network media. So those are the network representations of end devices. As you can see, those representations of end devices are mostly gadgets, or the mostly gadgets or some equipments that can be used by those persons who are working in the corporate world or who are in the corporate world. And then intermediary devices are those that provides connection. And next is network media. So those are the channel for the messages to travel from source to destination. So let us check first if my answers are correct. So yes, it's correct. And the next one is we will drag the names of those of its components. We'll drag it to its representation. First is the IP phone. Next is laptop, and then wireless tablet, desktop computer, printer, telepresence endpoint. And the next is for the intermediary network devices. First is the firewall appliance, LAN switch, router, wireless router, and multi-layer switch. And for the last one, the network media, first is the WAN media, next is wireless media, and the last one is the LAN media. So those are the network representations of end devices: IP phone, laptop, wireless tablet, desktop computer, printer, and telepresence endpoint. And for intermediary devices, firewall appliance, LAN switch, router, wireless router, and multi-layer switch. And for network media, WAN media, wireless media, and LAN media. So let us check. And yes, it's correct. So let us go to the next activity. So the next activity for chapter 1 is entitled Reliable Networks. So first, we will select the appropriate column to identify the network architecture requirement to which each characteristic or feature belongs. And first is for the network should always be available. Fault tolerance. And next, second statement is priority queues are implemented when demand for network bandwidth exceeds supply. So it is for the quality of service. Next is business and personal network equipment must be protected. So it is for the security. Next is developing a plan for priority queuing is a strategy for quality delivery of information. So as we are talking for the quality, it is for the quality of service. Business and personal data must be protected. So if it is about protection or security of the data or some informations, it is included in security. And the next is networks can grow or expand with minimal impact on performance. So as the statement says, it is for scalability. And the second to the last one is data can travel through more than one route for delivery from a remote source. So fault tolerance must be always available. And the last one is common network standards allow hardware and software vendors to focus on product improvements and services. So it is for scalability, and let us check if our answers are correct. Yes, it is correct. So for the last activity in chapter 1, it is entitled Identify the Network Security Terminology. So first, an attack which slows down or crashes equipment and programs. So I think it is denial of service. Next, creates a secure connection for remote workers. It is virtual private network or VPN. Next is blocks unauthorized access to your network, which is the firewall. Next is network attack that occurs on the first day that a vulnerability becomes known. So it is the 0 day or 1 hour. Because it is only a day. So, and then the last one is the arbitrary code running on user devices. It is virus, worm, or Trojan horses. So, this network security terminology are some network securities that can protect your data or informations on your laptops or PCs, and also some of these are those viruses that can harm your laptops or PCs and can destroy your files or can put viruses on your files. And let us check first our answers. Okay. And I think that's all for these activities in chapter 1. I hope that you can get some informations from me about this chapter 1, and thank you for watching.